So this is a recording of the presentation I made for the final exam at the first semester at Multimedia Design and Communication at KEA, the Copenhagen School of Design and Technology, the 19th of June 2013. Hi, I am Tanya, and today I'm going to present parts of my portfolio which contains the 4 core elements for this semester: visualization, communication, interaction, and organization. Visualization is covering how we design our ideas. The composition is important when designing websites, since almost anyone can throw in some pictures and some text according to what they feel looks nice and create an unprofessional website. Balance tells us something about the symmetry of the website. For most of the designs I made throughout this semester, I've been using horizontal or approximate horizontal symmetry, but for some pages of my personal website, I didn't really think of balance, which made the page look unprofessional and clumsy. Other tools, as the golden section and the grid system, can also be used for designing the composition of the website. The Gestalt laws are also a great tool to achieve a professional look. They are based on the human perception and can help us make the viewer perceive the elements on the screen in a specific way. The 4 Gestalt laws we used most for this semester have been the figure ground phenomenon, the law of proximity, the law of similarity, and the law of closure. For my personal website, the law of similarity shows how all the images with a border is clickable. The proximity shows us that elements close to each other, like the links in the navigation menu, belongs together. The figure ground brings depth to the image. Words and images are perceived as figure and the background as ground. And the closure also closes up the navigation and the body content. Contrasts are also used to enhance important elements. At both these examples, the texture contrast has been used for the background and the content. Color contrast is also seen as enhancing elements and to increase the readability of the reading typography. The typography and the aesthetics are also a big part of the visualization. We were, for example, told to create a digital pixie book with the style surrealism. But even though we did a lot of research upon surrealism, it was confusing how to actually execute the style, whereas the end result could have fitted the style better. Another example of implementing the style is this personal street art poster we did for the Photoshop course. Due to some given guidelines, it was much easier to actually execute something that fitted the style. If we were to do the pixie book again, it would be smart to decide on some guidelines or requirements based on the characteristics for surrealism to make sure we would fit the style better. For the elements on my street art, I also used typography as a design tool. All of it is display text, which means the aesthetics are more in focus than the readability. For the typography for the lovely curves, I have used a sans serif soft-edged capitalized typography, which shows a girly, soft, but still childish and playful look. It's all about love. It's a more classical, elegant typography to make it look more old school and ladylike, which I can also be. And the poison pink is my own handwriting to create a more personal feel. A tool to style is the CSS cascading style sheet, which is a part of the interaction. CSS is the only code language used for designing HTML elements. It determines how the code will be displayed on the screen. Designing and implementing requires a lot of work, and this work needs to be organized. The experience I have gained throughout this semester is that planning and communication creates motivation. In order to organize our work, we have used the agile method Scrum and the Kanban chart. The Kanban chart helped visualize tasks that were missing, were in progress, and tasks that were done, so that every group member could follow the progress at all times. Also, the Scrum meetings helped us communicate, as we daily answered what we did yesterday, today, and what obstacles we had, so that if anyone could help with the obstacles, the task will be done faster. In some groups, the Scrum didn't work. This was due to lack of communication and lack of updating the Kanban chart. Sometimes the role of the Scrum Master also switched. If some group members felt like the Scrum Master didn't take the role, they would take over, and that caused a lot of confusion and chaos for the group. Another tool used for the group work were the collaboration agreement. This agreement helped the group I were in to know the ambition level so that all group members were on the same page when it came to rules, workloads, time spent on group work, and time spent on individual work. As mentioned before, CSS was the language used for styling the HTML elements. In the beginning we only dealt with these two languages, but later we were taught how to use simple jQuery, a JavaScript framework, PHP, and SQL. These were all used for creating the final project we had for this semester, a subsite for multimedia design and communication here at KEA. jQuery were used for the image gallery and the slideshow. PHP was used to build the entire website, since PHP can contain both text elements, HTML, JavaScript code, and actual PHP code. The code is executed on the server, and the result is returned to the browser as plain HTML. PHP can also pass data to a database and thereby generate dynamic page content. Finally, SQL, structured query language, was used to get access to the data on our database and manipulate the data by inserting user inputs, such as pressing a like button or leaving a comment. Sometimes we design something without reasoning, as I did with this poster for MTV Music Awards. I redesigned the logo because it could be fun, without knowing the client. I chose rainbow colors because I found it pretty on a black background, and I chose David Bowie because I like him as an artist. To make sure the client and the end users will like what you're doing, a lot of research and reasonings needs to be done, and these are some. The communication plan is a tool to control the path of the communication. The communication plan we wrote for the design process of the subsite for multimedia design and communication at KEA helped us make sure we never forgot what we were trying to communicate to the end users, and it gave us reasoning to choose the content, the design, and the code we chose. Another tool we had were the design manual, which is a tool that passes along the basic ideas from the design program, with specific guidelines and examples of the visual identity. Our problem here was that we were too focused on the website and didn't think of showing the visual identity could have been implemented for other purposes, such as a business card, a letter, same visual elements, same typography, visualized in different settings. I believe we might have misinterpreted the design manual as being similar to the design document we were taught previous this semester, might have caused a bit of confusion. A mood board is a nice tool for knowing your targeted audience. Here I have done a mood board for the prospect students looking for a study like multimedia design and communication at KEA. Why I chose to emphasize the mood board is that we in a very long time struggled with knowing exactly what it was. And we often did a mixture between the rough board and the mood board. Now I know that the mood board is only to represent the targeted audience, and the rough board is to briefly present the overall style of your website, the emotion you will get when you visit the website. At last, testing is a very nice tool for reasoning our choices. If there is no scientific proof for the chosen idea or concept, testing will enhance the validity of our choices. At the beginning of multimedia design and communication, I set some learning goals. A lot of these goals have been fulfilled, and the motivation to set new goals for the future have been created. I can now create a website that I'm proud to put my name on. But I want more. We know what we are, but know not what we may be. Thanks for your time. I hope you can use this presentation for something, else I can use it for the future. Thanks again.